Show them your top. Show them your jersey. Stand up. Stand up and show everyone the beautiful... Clap your hands.
I do love this song.
How good is this song?
During Process Sixes, I would play this after every win. 76ers.
For those that are
Will
new,
be
everybody, for those that are new, I'm a Sixers fan. I'm Nathan. This is Jack, my co-host. We're going to say that again after, but we have a bet. He's a Boston fan. I'm a Philly fan. Big rivals. And every time our teams play each other, the losing team fan has to wear the jersey or some type of apparel from the winning team. And
I'm miserable.
well, last time we played at the TD Garden, there was no messing around this time.
I mean, there was.
Joel, what happened? I can't even remember because it's that long ago because we haven't recorded in like 3 weeks. Happy New Year, JL.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
All of the above.
It was just a bad game all around. Both teams were abysmal.
I think Joel
And then
dominated.
Embiid killed down the stretch.
We'll talk about Joel
He had a
and his
stupid fadeaway on the baseline, getting double teamed.
Oh, those Joel
As you can tell, I'm
favours.
over this game.
Oh.
It doesn't bother me.
Well, good news for you, JL, is that our teams are playing this weekend, Saturday our time, Friday night in Philly,
Boston's
American time. I got to tell you, Boston got no chance. What I will offer you quickly, though, before we get into the show is... So you're going to have to wear... We're actually recording 2 shows. That's a little bit of a secret that we just let you in on. Because I'm going on holidays next week. So we're recording 2 shows in this moment and then uploading the second one next week. But I haven't even thought of this properly. Hold on. So what am I trying
Some
to
things
think
never
of?
change.
You are going to be wearing this top. No, okay. So, would you like to take that top off once we start recording today's second show? Or leave it on, and then if we win on the weekend, next time I see you in 2 weeks to record, you don't have to wear the Philly jersey. That's a risk. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm taking this off.
You're taking
it off.
Yeah, at any chance.
I
Okay.
will take the risk.
All right. No, but
Because if we win...
the risk I think is to...
If Boston win, I want you to wear the Celtics jersey again. So
Yeah, and let's add that in. So if Boston win on Saturday...
Which we will. We won't.
If you leave it on... How should I have thought this through? Hold on.
You're trying to give me like a double or nothing.
Yeah, a bit of a double or nothing.
I'm going to say no regardless. I'm taking this off after this week's one, and we're going clean slate. Whoever wins next week, loser dons the jersey.
All right. So you're taking it off after this episode?
100%.
All right. I love it. All right. Well, that's going to be an easy win for us on Saturday in Philly. Come on. You guys have been pretty bad. You've had some bad losses.
We're very average, if not below, slightly below average.
Welcome to the Bronx Cheer Basketball Show. I am your host, Nathan Callanan. I'm joined by my Philly fan, Ben
shut
Simmons
up.
jersey wearing
Shut up.
co-host Jack Leach. Mate, I bought that for a reason. And I bought that like a season or half a season later because I wasn't too sure if I wanted a Ben jersey. You know, I got to tell you, being from Melbourne and a Philly fan, I hate the whole, you like the Sixers because of Ben. You going to hit me with it quickly? You like the Sixers because of...
You like the Sixers because no one's Noel.
Anyway, and like Taylor, my girlfriend, shout out. She always wants a shout out.
She is the biggest fan
She
by a country mile.
Well, something I don't know if you know. I thought you were going to finish that with. You know who she's the biggest fan of, and I got to sort of contain her. She goes on about she's the biggest fan of Matisse Thybulle, and she calls him the GOAT. And I say, you sound uneducated when you say it. You know what I'm saying? I know
No.
you love him.
She sounds great.
But he's not the GOAT. She goes on about how he's better than Embiid. And he's he's better than LeBron.
Well, at least she's having a crack.
Yeah, well, she is. Anyway, she loves Matisse so much. Anyway, she was telling me a story once. She was in a store. She was going to buy me a Philly hat. And the guy, Melbourne, He's like, oh, he goes for Philly because of Ben Simmons. And she told him, no, he goes for Philly because of a Nerlens Noel draft story. She knows the story. So, shout out to you, Taylor.
You have done so well for yourself.
Yeah.
She's so much better than you are.
Punching. Anyway, Jack, how are you, mate?
Mate, I am good. It's been a good New Year, good Christmas.
Was it really, though? Were you?
Yes, I was in isolation
over New Year's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
We had a big night that night. Jamie and I just drinking our sorrows.
Yep.
As day 2 of isolation,
Mm.
and then got up at 6:30 in the morning to go get another test just in case.
Ah, that's it.
So not a lot of fun was had, but could be worse.
That's it. The NBA is sort of getting a little bit. It's like,
It's on its way back.
It's on its way back, and good on them for. I mean, sorry, some people, and I actually agree to an extent. Taking the approach of, these players are going down with COVID, so we're just going to risk more people's health by throwing in 10 days. I guess overall that's not the good way to look at it, but we're truly in the middle time of the pandemic, and there's going to be some times where the big money corporations / sports are just going to push through. Yeah. They're not going to stop. And we're truly in that, in my opinion, that middle part of the pandemic where it's just pushing through. And I'll tell you what, one of my first points here, Lance Stevenson has been...
Make him dance, Lance.
14 assists. Rudy Gobert wasn't in that game in Indiana.
Doesn't matter.
But 14 assists, and the so poor of this season Indiana Pacers beat the Jazz, who came to town.
And they beat Brooklyn the game before that. He had 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Did you see his 14th assist?
No, I didn't.
It was to Sabonis. And
Maybe I did.
He sort of come off, and it was his classic Lance. It was like a nice pass, fairly basic pass.
It was basic, yeah.
But a right-hander sort of picked it off, and then just hand straight up, knees going everywhere, just celebrating before he's even scored the basket. He's one of the most exciting players to watch ever. Yeah. And that's ridiculous. Like, you got like the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Currys, the people that can turn a game out of nothing. And Lance Stevenson genuinely, of like every player I've watched play, he's like top 10.
Yeah.
Most exciting players. Yeah. Something always happens, good or bad. God, I love Lance Stevenson.
Oh, man. I'm so happy he's back. And there's some, in all sports, but focusing on basketball, there's this classic scenario where a player goes to a bigger market or a different situation because they're doing well, and it just, whatever reason, you can get spiritual even. I'm happy for you to say spiritual reasons. It doesn't work out. Keep Lance in Indiana. It looks like they're going to keep him after this 10-day because...
They did sign him.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
And Rick Carlisle, I believe, was talking about, how he's just changed the locker room and everything.
Everyone loves him.
And let's not forget, I know you tipped them to do badly, but they've got some good players. So if they make a late run, that could be the story of the second half of the season.
I would love that. I don't see it happening, but I'd love that.
14 assists. 14 assists.
It's a good game.
My gosh.
That's Josh Giddey numbers.
Is he a point? He's not a point guard.
Lance?
Yeah, not really.
He handles the ball, though.
Yeah, he does. But he's not a point. Unbelievable. Klay Thompson, today, our time, returned after 941 days out, an Achilles and an ACL. What a story. Did you see any of this stuff?
I caught about half the game today, watching.
How about the pump up? Did you see the pump up?
Oh, it was ridiculous. See Draymond started the game.
Oh, yes.
He hasn't. That was the biggest overreaction of all time. Like, I'm not fit to play, but I want to start with Klay.
Yeah.
It's not like he died.
But the Warriors are the Warriors. The Warriors are the Warriors.
Everything else was like, fair enough. They're excited for him. And I think part of the celebration is we know the hard work. And
I think it's because, I said that they're the Warriors. The Warriors are the Warriors. But Klay in particular, if you had to rank their emotional... it's like Draymond and then Klay. And Steph is, he's not like a boring guy, but Steph and then whatever. But Klay is, you remember the all NBA snubs? And he was so livid. I know that affects their actual money, but he's always livid about being left out of this and left out of that. He's always so public about, he's just a very emotionally, hard on his sleeve guy. And I think, Draymond and co wanted to really, it sort of rubs off on him. Yeah. So,
but it was a bit of the whole start in the game. That was so over the top.
And straight away, drawn a play up for him. Steph, what did they do? Something. Steph ran around, I don't know all the technical names. I think it was a pin down or something. Steph ran around the key sort of to the corner 3, and that just left a sort of pathway for Klay to just run around and do the floater. So I was really happy. I like the Warriors, personally. I know a lot of people didn't like them and don't like them, but I like them.
If you watched basketball enough in 2016, you didn't like the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I still hold a grudge.
Well, for what?
Just how good they were.
Oh, no,
And how painful.
I liked them for
I've
that
never
reason.
seen a team... Well, they go 73 and 9.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a team complain more after a loss than those 9 games. And Draymond was insufferable all season long.
Up. I think it was it their last loss or their second last loss? I think it was second last loss to the childlike Minnesota Timberwolves with
It was their last.
Andrew Wiggins. Wasn't their last in Memphis though? And then they beat Memphis at home to win it. I think.
I remember Boston beat them because they were undefeated at home.
Yeah.
And Boston beat them, and then Minnesota beat them the game after. And
I
they lose
thought
one more after that.
There was one more. It was Memphis, and then they beat Memphis at home.
To break the record.
I remember watching that in Minnesota game, and I was happy for him, man. You know, like as in like here's what I like. I like
history.
History. I like history being made, and watching the Warriors.
Man, I hated Draymond that season. I hated Klay Thompson.
Oh yeah, they're bloody they're divas, or they're very, as you said, they're very spoiled brats, and they're all arrogant. Even Steve Kerr can get a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
But just the way they played. And when there was one, I think in the third quarter, when Klay basically did the classic Klay, came off a screen, hit the 3, and it didn't even touch the rim. I was like, whoa.
I couldn't believe
I'm back.
For his like the first basket he had was a contested layup, and he sort of threw it up and got lucky. But he moved quite well though, and that was what I thought he was going to be more corner 3 specialist running wing to wing, but the dunk he had, got up.
I reckon, and
that meant a lot to him.
Yeah,
you know that's what he wanted to do, was just come out there and show how healthy he was. And as soon as he saw that lane, there was no way he was going to lay that up.
Yeah. 2
seasons ago, or whenever, 2019 when he last played, that's a layup every single time. He's not wasting his energy.
Yeah.
But today it was like, nah, fuck this. I'm going
and
for it.
Part of the point of Steve Kerr, not wanting to bring him back for the bench, wanted to start him, I reckon, on the same note, Klay would have been like, I'm not coming back until I can dunk, for example. Or not dunk. You probably could have dunked for a while until I can dunk. And the way he came back off the dunk, scary for someone who's just done their ACL and Achilles. But that confidence and that daringness sort of said to me, like he's prepared himself to be, he wants to try. I mean, I've never gone through one of those situations, obviously, but he wants to try and push the boundaries of, the old narrative of mentally being too scared because you're not the same player, because you'd mentally, and that's so understandable. I can just imagine myself, and like we've seen in the history of all sports, big injuries, players mentally are more just not the same because they just don't want to, they're just scared to test it. But it was good.
Well, I think the good thing about coming back from injury on a team that's so successful is they didn't have to rush him. They gave him like 2, 3, 4 months at more than other teams, would have. And you saw that today. He was 100%. There was no doubt in his mind, no doubt in the staff's mind that he was good to go.
Yeah, imagine. Oh my gosh. So let's actually get straight on to that. Let's go straight to talking about Klay just a tiny bit more. How good of a Klay Thompson do the Warriors need to be outright favourites? We've sort of touched on this before, and we've touched on what type of favourites the Warriors are at the moment.
They're bloody close to it.
I ask you that question, JL.
Currently, right now, you'd say Brooklyn and Milwaukee pretty much neck and neck at the moment.
Yeah.
There's no one from the West that's giving me that, if everything goes right, they have it sort of thing. Just a step below them would be where I'd put like Utah, Phoenix currently.
Yeah.
And then probably directly after that is where I'd have Golden State. prior to Klay coming back.
Okay.
Adding in Klay into the mix obviously depends on how healthy he truly is. But from what we saw today, if he comes back at 90% of what he was, it puts up an efficient 18 to 20 points per game. It just not only the 18 to 20 points, it's the fact that it's the way that he scores and in the manner he scores. You cannot leave him open for a split second, and it's already so hard enough with Steph running around screens to try and have, of your 5 defenders on the floor, 4 of them are watching him at a time, waiting for him to come to their part of the court and switch onto him. You add Klay to that, and it adds so much more of a headache to it. So if he can put up 20, they'll be right up there with Milwaukee and Brooklyn.
Yeah. It's hard to this has got to be one of the most even years in NBA history.
It's good. I like it.
And we thought we were getting that before Harden went to Kyrie. We'll mention Kyrie in a second, actually. But Harden went to Brooklyn, and now we're truly getting this injuries, vaccination, and COVID complications has just and Ben Simmons has shaken out the league to make it this such
even playing field.
You've got to think that Milwaukee have got to be one of the favourites, of course. Brooklyn, I can't write off. However,
the home court disadvantage is a big question mark.
They're actually pretty, of course, but they're pretty lackluster in terms of championship aspirations without Kyrie.
They didn't start the year well, but Harden found his rhythm while KD was out. And if he can continue that,
they're still at the top of the... Yeah. They're still, and especially because of the lower quality of everyone else, they're still one of the favourites.
Right, but they're not as... For a team with as much star power as they have, they don't scare you as much as they should.
Yeah.
You're not like... It's not like LeBron, D-Wade and Bosh in Miami.
Yeah.
And that first year, even though they didn't win the championship, that first year everyone's like, why are we playing?
Yeah.
When KD went to the Warriors, it was like, all right, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to win a first-round series, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas Brooklyn had that potential but haven't sort of fulfilled that.
And it's got to do with so obviously Kyrie being out. That's the biggest point. Joe Harris is not himself and now injured. So I guess if Joe Harris comes back, bees himself, they get the best out of Claxton somehow again, or the best out of LaMarcus Aldridge in the playoffs. That's a bit of a questionable one. I think just Joel is just going to feast in that. But yeah, it's even, and the Kyrie thing is just unbelievable. So Kyrie Irving's back. He's back.
Away games only,
or in the States.
It's only certain states.
Yeah, in the States that don't,
You can't go to Toronto.
Yeah.
Can't play at home. He can play in California.
Yeah.
But that's only because he's visiting. If he was like a home team, he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, what do they do? Do they sort of aim to not get home court?
No, they still have to.
Yeah.
But what I would love to see.
Imagine him playing every second game in the NBA Finals.
How funny would it be if, say for example, Golden State makes it?
Yeah.
And then the Californian mayor, or whatever it is, enforces a vaccine mandate.
Governor of California.
Governor, that's the word I'm looking for. That would be hilarious. It'd make me so happy.
I'd bloody do it. But anyway, so that's where their complications. I think that Milwaukee have a bit of a ceiling, as good as whatever's happening. And where's Brook Lopez? Has he got some very long-term injury? He must, because I don't think he's played this season. Or he was played once.
Plug in your twin brother and everything's all good.
That's it. So,
but Middleton's been terrible this year for his standards. Anyway, if he gets back to where he can be, where he was playing in the playoffs last year, they're better than they were 12 months ago.
Drew Holiday's been good, which has been good. Giannis has been, of course, great. It depends on how Murray... We already talked about it. It depends on how Jamal Murray comes back for the Nuggets. I know they got Michael Porter Jr. out, but if Jamal Murray comes back and is great, you got to... their sort of starting lineup, I don't know if Jeff Green starts or whatever, but Jokic, Murray, Aaron Gordon... is Will Barton starting these days? But anyway...
They've got numbers. You can never rule that team out, but
It's a hard question to answer. This whole championship this season is just amazing.
it's a lot of fun. It's stressful.
It is. But anyway, if Klay gets back to at least like 75% of what he was, of course, that elevates them. I don't know. Something about the Warriors
You're not sold.
Yeah, scares me for their... Yeah. We're going to get to see. As I said to you that one time, and we'll have a big argument another time, I will say this many times. I don't think the Warriors win a championship if Love and Kyrie don't go down in 2015 and if KD didn't join 2017, 2018. I don't reckon they win any of them. Because you need... you've talked about guards in the playoffs, but you need... I don't know.
We used to think before KD joined... The Warriors were 73-9 and had the biggest choke job of all time in the NBA Finals.
Of course.
Cleveland was so strong at the time.
Yeah.
If KD doesn't go there, it's pretty safe to assume the next probably like 4 finals. It probably would have been like 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Don't forget the Rockets.
Were all going to be those teams, potentially Houston. They would have had at least 5 shots to the championship, 4 shots to the championship. If there's no injuries and KD doesn't join.
Yeah. Yeah, but I still think no.
You reckon they don't win a single one?
No.
They were so good.
I know.
73-9.
73-9 and they couldn't do it.
Because they had LeBron to have the best performance we've ever seen in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, no, I know. But LeBron was there. LeBron on the other side keeps beating them, I reckon. Or the Rockets beat them. And that's not me underrating them.
I think they'd have at least one. And
yeah,
they did get one prior to KD, and I reckon they would have had...
Anyway, that's the whole KD thing's another thing, but I just think that you watch those sort of... The 2016, the famous, the last 3 minutes, I've watched that 1,000 times. Steph's can't make a bucket to save his own life, and he's the guy. That's just it. And that's my point with the whole KD thing. Steph doesn't make a bucket to save his own life. On the other end, LeBron keeps asking for Steph to go at him, and he doesn't they keep missing as well. But at the end of the day, LeBron blocks Iguodala, Kyrie makes the shot. Warriors weren't good enough.
I reckon if you had those last 3 minutes and played that sequence 100 times, you'd probably split it 50-50. That's how close those teams
not 50-50. I'd give you some. I'd give you a lot, but only because Steph makes some. But LeBron is better than Steph. We're getting into this too much.
We always do.
We're getting into
Stop
this
bringing
too
it
much.
up. Stop
the
bringing
Warriors are great and they're awesome. I'm not going to go so stupidly to say they're like, what was it, the 2016 Hawks? What Hawks was that, the 14?
2015.
15 Hawks. I'm not going to say they're like the first iterations of the Bucks, killing it, doing nothing. All these types of teams killing it as a team and then doing nothing. I'm not going to go that far. However, it's something like that. The cohesive team stuff doesn't work in the last 3 minutes. No KD, no Love, no Kyrie going down. It doesn't work against the biggest of the boys. ISO. It's all about ISO in that final moment. It is. It bloody is, mate. They wouldn't have won it without KD. Anyway. We've just done... We've just gone... anyway, so let's get back on topic.
Happens every time.
The Warriors, I love them, as I actually go on about, and Steph is my favourite player ever. But I just worry about that final moment. Same with Utah. The good thing is Donovan Mitchell's great, but same with Utah, same problem. Suns sort of have a similar problem, but I like Devin Booker and Chris Paul for those things. But you can probably rate them all in the same class in the final moments as Steph and Klay. You're looking at me like I'm a madman.
You are.
Anyway, that brings me back to as bad as AD has been for me this season, and Westbrook's just been the worst. Did you see that shot today? I don't know if you saw this clip. He sort of dribbles up the ball and he's going to go for his classic bank in. He shoots it and hits like the top of the backboard. And he meant that.
Oh, my God.
I love Westbrook on the Lakers. Anyway, the Lakers have to be in the conversation. The Nuggets have to be in the conversation. But
the Nuggets don't have to.
I think that they do.
Nah, not
I
this
think
year.
if Murray comes back,
Not this year.
I reckon they do. Just because it's such a low year. And for me, the favourites have got to be the Nets. Yeah, that's a hard.
There's gonna be a lot of upsets in the playoffs this year.
It's
gonna
hard. Yeah, it's hard to pick the bloody championship favourites at the moment. Anyway, do you want to talk about who's the front runners for the MVP quickly, or do you want to get straight into our segment?
MVP front runners.
Yeah. Also, Bismack Biyombo is back.
Getting busy.
He's on the Suns. Answer me this, and he's started off playing a couple games well. For a backup center. Surely you're taking Bismack Biyombo over Frank the Tank. I just don't like Frank the Tank.
Neither do I. But he serves a purpose for Phoenix because he's got a very unique skill set in the fact that he can do most things. Not very well, but you can. He's kind of like a Mason Plumlee, for example. Remember when he was in Denver and they ran all their sets through Jokic? They could run the exact same sets at obviously a lesser efficiency with Plumlee playing the passing big.
Yeah.
Having someone like Frank the Tank is good in terms of if you need to stretch the floor, he's a good enough shooter where he does that. If you need to run plays through the high post, he's a good enough passer where he can do that. He's not going to take over games, but you can put him in a lot of different positions where you can succeed if someone else goes down. Bismack at the moment is playing a more vital role because they just need rebounding at the moment. But come playoff time, Bismack's not going to do a lot.
You know who I forgot about that, and he's been playing well for them, filling the role, is JaVale McGee.
JaVale's been playing unbelievably well this year. It's probably his best season in the NBA, which is hard to believe almost.
Yeah, JaVale, it's good pick up to just anyone, in my opinion, in front of Frank the Tank. I couldn't believe he got playoff minutes last season. Anyway, MVP frontrunners: Giannis, Jokic, LeBron, Joel, who is not currently on the Basketball Reference tracker, top 10. Joking.
You got to put in a few more weeks. He's climbing up quickly.
He's just had player of the month, and that doesn't matter. It's just that he's been doing it now. Been doing it now since he came back from COVID.
Give it 2 more weeks and he'll be top 5.
Yeah. So for me, Joel, Giannis, Jokic, DeMar DeRozan.
No. DeMar's been a great story.
Hold on.
It's a feel-good story, but no.
You know, these people behind this camera and on TikTok are obsessed with DeMar at the moment. He's the craze. Is everyone forgetting?
The Trash Bros. What we've seen so many times.
Oh, man. He is... Okay, it's a funny one because DeMar DeRozan is a very interesting player to analyse. Terrible on team defense, terrible on individual defense, pretty damn great on offense. Doesn't really turn over the ball, and their sort of defense at Chicago is doing actually all right in terms of rating, just because they don't really give up the ball, and their sort of transition defense is they're just not giving up the ball.
They've got Levine's not great, but he's better than people give him credit for.
Oh, he's bad.
I think he's better than people give him credit for in terms of. I mean, defensive numbers are so hard to read anyway, but Lonzo is fantastic defensively.
So is Caruso.
Caruso's fantastic. He hounds people. Vooch is decent. He gets big white players just automatically get labelled as bad defenders. Don't know why, but Vooch is all right. They're a solid team of just everyone's an average defender. And that's actually good enough in the NBA because they don't have a weakness that teams can just, all right, we're going to ISO and go for him. Everyone can hold their own enough to run a defensive scheme where it's just funnel to the middle and then get your hands in the way.
Yeah. See, I sort of totally disagree because I think that you can go right at DeMar, right at Levine if you're Giannis, KD.
Well, if you're the best,
offensive
players.
I know, but for all these people that are getting so excited about DeMar's MVP season and the Bulls, this is what I'm trying. This is sort of what I'm actually. This is where I'm coming from.
Story. People love.
This is what I'm coming from. I know there's a lot of young sort of people on TikTok, but there's just this feeling around the internet at the moment that more so the Bulls, but more so DeMar is just untouchable at the moment. It's just. And especially, I think I've already said this, we've played them twice early in the start of the season. and we basically had not our whole team in because of COVID, and we beat them home and away, and I just can't take them seriously after that.
They're better than you think they are.
No, they are good, but I don't want anyone to forget
They've
about
won
DeMar.
9 in a row at the moment.
They
Something like
lost
that.
today.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they lost today
well.
to Doncic and co.
Luka's been letting us down, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, but he hasn't played. But he has been letting us down. But anyway, who would you give the MVP to right now?
It's so hard because
I know who you're going to say.
there's two. And you know both of them, I reckon.
Yeah,
No,
I think I know one that you're going to say.
The MVP is stupid in terms of it goes to the best player on the best team. In terms of who's playing the best basketball right now,
I know who you're going to say. Like you've just built it up to.
There's two.
Yeah.
And actually, I just said this in. There's three, I reckon, that for me right now, there's three players that are not by far, but like in a tier of their own currently, and that's LeBron, Jokic, and Giannis. Which would leave the award going to Giannis at the moment. Yeah. But I can't see voters giving him his third MVP. Which then leaves it open. LeBron's not going to win it with his team record. Jokic isn't going to win with his team record. So the voting's going to be weird this year in terms of third, fourth, and fifth place votes, I think, will matter. Unless, obviously, the narrative, once it comes to the point of the season, they pick two players, and that's the debate for the last month, and it's always one of the two. But if it was right now, there's like Durant would be up there.
Yeah.
In maybe a month's time, Embiid would be up there. He just hasn't played enough currently to...
Steph until last
until,
fortnight.
Yeah. It's so close at the moment. But I think the three that I mentioned are doing the most on the court.
It's like the whole championship sort of favourites thing.
It's even playing field everywhere.
It's hard not to look at they're the three front runners, definitely. It's hard not to look at Jokic and LeBron, because they're just playing so well, especially LeBron. How good's LeBron?
He shouldn't be doing this.
I love, I'm just naturally, my respect comes more when your team's shit. Or more so in this sort of scenario. I think my favourite finals performance is that 50-point J.R. Smith game. And this season, and I'm publicly a hater of the Lakers, this season I just can't believe how good LeBron looks. As in how amazing he looks compared to the rest of his team.
It sticks out like a sore thumb when you're playing with Wayne Ellington.
Yeah.
And
anyway, but yeah, even that's bloody hard to pick. I couldn't award it right now. I don't know. It's too tough.
Durant would be up there.
Durant would be up there. Curry would be up there. And then people make the argument. You have to make the argument, as you said, the way the award is given for DeRozan, to be quite honest. They're like 26 and 11.
There's no way DeRozan wins it. Especially because he'd split votes with Zach LaVine anyway. Their stats are pretty much identical to each other.
Yeah. Did you see the two buzzer beater threes in a row?
Yeah.
That
games
was
fun.
Back-to-back nights. I'm telling you, he could win it because of narratives and stuff like. And it's not just narratives. If they end up with the top 2 record and he keeps blah blah, what's his name? Is it Billy Donovan there?
Yeah, it is Billy Donovan.
Is Billy Donovan wins Coach of the Year?
Nah, it's not happening.
Oh, he'll win Coach of the Year though. You got to say that.
Spo's got to win it.
No.
For what he's doing in Miami with the team he has.
I know, but the narratives.
Spoelstra's never won one.
Yeah, but Bulls coming to if they finish like top 3.
This is the year. I think the narrative is going to be how Spoelstra never won one. He's deserved like 5. Look what he's doing this year. This will be the year for him.
Okay. Well, yeah, my pick is Billy Donovan because it's just narratives. Let's get into this week's segment, JL. It is one we've done before. It's called Start Bench Cut. Last time we did these, we got absolutely murdered on TikTok for our Rudy Gay disrespect and our Andre Iguodala.
Rudy Gay's not that good.
Our Andre Iguodala too much respect. And Jeremy Grant too much respect. But let's get into it. I'll go first.
Go for it.
All right. Start bench cut. Evan Fournier, 10 threes. Was that a Madison Square Garden record 10 threes? Or was it just maybe a Knicks record?
Could be both.
Yeah. I know Steph had one of his career highs.
He had 54 there.
Yeah.
In 2014, 2015.
Was it fun for you to see them beat you, and then 2 days later you went back to the TD Garden?
It was nice.
Smacked them by 24.
It was a nice little revenge, but I cared more about the first one.
Yeah.
The buzzer beater hurts.
Yeah, it
Evan
does.
Fournier sucks.
RJ Barrett, well, banker, yeah?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Rubbish. Well defended too.
Disgusting.
Just rubbish.
Anyway, Evan Fournier, Patty Mills, Seth Curry.
This season, I'm starting Patty Mills. Not by a lot.
Actually, hold off. Not just this season. Give me an all round.
Like a 2-3 year sort of
The play,
sample.
well, just like the player that they are. I know it's hard not to go this season, but the player that they are at their best average.
Well, that's the hard bit because we haven't seen Patty with the ultimate green light like he has now.
Yeah.
Seth Curry, I think, is in the role that Patty's in now, where we've seen him for the last 2 seasons be like, all right, this is your role, play it. I think if Patty was playing Seth Curry's role for Philadelphia,
Yeah.
they're almost identical players, I reckon.
Good one by me.
It was.
The Evan Fournier one was a hard one. I was going to do Devontae Graham, but I feel like it's too early.
Fournier, he's hard because he's fallen off a cliff. He's averaging 12 points per game this year, and not a good 12 either. Whereas Patty's probably averaging about 12, but it's timely points and it's efficient points. Given the way he's fallen off a cliff, I'm cutting him, but I'm taking him 2 years ago over the other two easily.
Yeah.
But if I'm going a 2-3 year sample,
But I am going at their best.
at their
make
best,
sure.
at their best, Fournier you start.
Okay. Because I'm going to put that on the thing, at their best. And for our YouTube and audio listeners, you're hearing it here. But on TikTok, it will say in their prime or at their best.
Well, then it has to be Fournier. Then I'm benching Seth Curry.
Jesus.
Only just.
Whoa. Oh, no.
But can I include Olympics, Paddy?
Yeah.
Oh, if it's Olympics as well.
Yeah.
Olympics, Paddy's done enough to get the bench spot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it.
Because that's how I know. That's why I know that like he'd never had this green light like I mentioned, but you always knew he was capable of it because you'd see him play for Australia and dominate.
Yeah.
So if I'm allowed to include that in it, then by all means, he'd almost be starting because
Yeah. For me, it's and I know in France and in Orlando, Fournier has been good, but for me, it's Paddy, Fournier, and Seth.
How many years did Fournier average over 20? Over 18. I reckon he had like 4 years at 18 points per game.
I'm not sure about that, but I don't. Come on.
So, like,
it was in Orlando.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything on a meaningful team, but he's been a good player for his career.
Like, you watch those games. You know, there was many Orlando games I checked out just to see how good he was.
All right, so he's points per game. This is from
5, 6.
from 2016. 15.4, 17.2, 17.8, 15.1, 18.5, 17.1 was when he got traded midway through the year to Boston.
Yeah, Seth Curry's definitely the third of these three. He looks great next to Joel, but he's definitely the third of these three. I just reckon, especially including Olympics.
If you can include Olympics.
And
I think if Paddy was playing in Orlando at Fournier's role,
yeah,
Paddy would have been just as good. Seth Curry is definitely the least talented of the three.
Yeah,
but he's probably the best shooter, just in a vacuum, just shooting the ball. And that's why he's thriving in Philly because he's with.
I would
top two big men in the
especially
league.
the way Paddy's going this season. I would maybe go Paddy best shooter. As good as Seth's numbers are, and you know what the thing about Seth is? He never shoots the ball when he doesn't think it's going to go in. Never. He doesn't shoot.
Which is a good skill to have.
It is good, but you know, it's not
averages.
For example, it's not great for us, a team that needs shooting. If he doesn't think he's going to make it, he'll most likely duck in for a long two. You know, or if he he just doesn't shoot it. That's why his percentage is so high. But he does shoot it. That sounds pretty harsh, but if you just watch the games, you'd think, why isn't he shooting it more?
He loves an open three. And
he's also very slow. He's slow for a run-around screen guy. Got to be honest.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I don't know what my answer is.
You go. I'm putting yours down. I'll be snippeting you saying, sorry. I'll be putting snippeting and you putting down saying you, Fournier, Mills, I think. I don't know. Or do you want to quickly say one final?
Prime Fournier.
Mm-hmm.
Then Paddy.
Yeah. And then Seth.
As
good as Seth's been, that's it. That's the one.
Okay. Which order do I want to do mine in? I'll start with some that are in the news.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, or Ben Simmons?
De'Aaron Fox, is this what this you a Philly, what I saw at least, a Philly very notable beat writer or Philly reporter, Kyle Neubeck, I believe it was, has now reported that the Kings are willing to trade De'Aaron Fox, but Sixers are like, we don't necessarily want him. If it's going to happen, it's going to be a 3-team deal. Anyway.
And then I put in Halliburton and Fox because Sacramento have made the choice. They're keeping one and getting rid of the other.
Yeah. So all prime, all peak
going forward. This is if you're these teams now, going forward, who are you siding with?
Going forward. That's hard because I can't see De'Aaron Fox in the playoffs. Because Ben's fall down is in the playoffs. But I don't have a vision in my mind of what De'Aaron Fox looks like in the playoffs. And he just, this past, 12 months, he just looks looks like he's ready to leave.
Yeah. Which I would be too if I was playing for Sacramento.
Moving forward, I gotta say, Ben Simmons, start. Bench Halliburton and cut my Kentucky boy, De'Aaron Fox. You with me?
I don't know. I have no idea about this one. I think if I'm Sacramento, I'm choosing Halliburton over Fox, but I think Fox is the better player. But I think you get a better return for Fox, and Halliburton's one of those players where everything works with him. Whereas Fox is like, you need to find a big man that can shoot, and you need to find this and this. Whereas Halliburton, you can put him in any lineup, and you've got someone that makes the right pass and can shoot from outside, can score inside. Not as good as Fox, but doesn't have a weakness like Fox does, for example.
Yeah.
If I'm anyone else, I'd probably take Simmons. As I say this, wearing the most disgusting jersey of all time.
You look good in it, mate.
I do. The camera's doing some favours. If I'm anyone else, I'll probably go Simmons first, Fox second, and cut Halliburton. I think Halliburton's the worst of the three players.
Right now, yes, but Halliburton's young.
He is young.
He's going to get, you said going forward, he's going to get better.
I don't think he's going to get better than Fox is right now, though.
Yeah,
but I think though he'd be if you've already got a pretty sound team, he'd slide into any team, and that's where I think he's going to use best value. Is that he can do almost anything on the court. He's a good defender for a young guy. He's a good passer, good shooter from outside, but he's not going to win you playoff games off his own bat. Whereas someone like Fox, who I don't know what he would do, in a high pressure situation where defenses are honing in on him, but he's someone that can score 30 in a game and take over.
Yeah, I changed my mind. Actually, you're right. I take my back. I was too much soaked up in the going forward and how Fox is disinterested at the moment.
You can still get your 22 and.
But I want to say that if Halliburton ends up better than Fox, you owe me a. What do you owe me?
Yeah. I'll buy you a Guinness.
Buy me a Guinness. All right, because I'm taking that one back. Good one. That was a tough one. All right, next one. Ennis Freedom.
Cut.
Enes Freedom, Hassan Whiteside, and Andre Drummond.
I really hoped you're going to go for players that have changed their name and like Enes Freedom, Meta World Peace.
Oh.
Who was it? Freedom, Whiteside,
And Drummond.
Drummond. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And let's go. What do you want to do? You choose. You want to do right now or at their best
Right
average?
now.
Okay,
Right now.
right now.
Right now. So,
And
2-year sample size. That's right now in my mind. A bit of history, a bit of right now. Jesus.
Hassan Whiteside and Drummond. What about Freedom? Is he? I'm not saying his name. Is Freedom the starting center when your center's out?
No, we play small ball.
Because when
we go Grant Williams over Freedom.
When Embiid's out, when Rudy Gobert's out, Hassan Whiteside is sneakily a good plug-in for Rudy
I'm cutting Enes Freedom. Offensively, he's the best of the lot.
Yeah, of course.
But I have never seen someone with cement feet.
I can't believe, watching Andre Drummond up close and personal with the Sixers this season, I can't believe how bad he is finishing with around the rim. You're there. You're right there.
He's a monster.
He's right there. I'm mostly talking about layups.
Yeah.
You're right there.
His standing reach is like 9'6".
How
the
are you
ring
so
is
bad
10
finishing
foot tall.
around the rim? Of course, he's had some good moments, but I just can't believe the amount of poor finishing. Of course, he's a great rebounder. I don't know if he's gotten better this season, but he's just really been a good passer, Drummond.
I've seen footage, but
he's been passing well.
I think he's always been a decent passer. He just never wanted to.
Yeah.
He's arguably the most stat hungry I've ever seen any player. Watching him in Detroit,
There's another guy.
I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, of course.
But at least he tried to win.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond in Detroit would not box out ever. It was just chase after rebound to rebound. Would never pass the ball, try and score. That's all he would do. For that, I'm going to bench him.
Yeah, Drummond.
He's been shit his whole career.
Oh my God, I can't believe who you're about to start, especially
I'm going to start Whiteside.
because of what you think about him.
And you know how much I hate
You hate Whiteside. I can't
Whiteside.
believe this.
But I have no respect for the other two.
What reality am I in?
At least Whiteside can make an impact defensively.
Mm.
And he's tall enough and he doesn't miss layups.
But he's also an idiot.
Yeah, he is. But he doesn't miss layups. And I like when centers don't miss layups. He jumps up and he dunks it. He doesn't miss them. So despite all his flaws and how block hungry he is and how he just does not pass the ball, spacing wise, everyone talks about 3-point spacing, but his vertical spacing is that you always need a body on him because he's such an easy alley-oop target. He's impactful enough defensively because he just flies for every single block. If you can dump off pass, you'll get him 100%.
Yeah.
But if it's one-on-one at the rim, he's going to contest it. And that's enough for me to put him above the other two.
I've got to go Drummond first, Hassan Whiteside second, Cantor third. But you know what? It's close. And even Cantor's close because his offense, while that's not as important in the playoffs, in terms of who they are, none of them are important in the playoffs. Maybe...
They've all been cut how many times in their career? What I don't get, though, how does Freedom, I should say, how his footwork on offense is so good. Like some of the best post moves in modern NBA. But his feet on defense do not move.
You know when Al Horford stuffs a layup or he stuffs something up and he's like he's 70 years old. He does a clap. Have you ever seen him do that? Could you imagine, he's good. Could you imagine if Enes Freedom did that annoying little clap every time someone blew by him on a layup? How much would you just want to kill him?
I already do.
Boston fan. Don't forget.
It's tough.
And how's about the love affair between Portland and Boston about just keep bringing him back? Isn't it a second stint at Boston as well? Wow.
We couldn't get anyone else.
Good on you. Good on you guys.
All right, what have I got for you? What have I got for you? We'll do another fun one. I'm in a fun mood. Dwight Howard. And this is right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe we'll go prime for this one. We can do both. We'll do a quick one for both.
Okay.
Dwight Howard. Oh, what is this show?
Oh, sorry. Go. There's your fun one.
All right, Dwight Howard,
Shit.
DeAndre Jordan, DeMarcus Cousins.
DeAndre Jordan, DeMarcus Cousins.
The prime should be easy.
Dwight Howard's first prime. Yes. Confirmed.
Yes.
Of course.
Not by a lot though. Prime Boogie for those year and a half was unbelievable, but it didn't last long. The prime, so
Yeah. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard prime first. Boogie second, yes, and then DeAndre Jordan third because DeAndre Jordan doesn't have as much in his bag. Sorry. Right now. Right now. Fuck. Personally, I would go. Fuck, I'd go the same order. I'd go the same order.
What I can't believe though is I'll do the same order as well. Dwight, Boogie, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
But how do the first and last keep getting guaranteed contracts? Well, Dwight didn't for a while, but he has the last 3 seasons now. Whereas Boogie, I know he's got his injury issues, but he put up like 19, 4 and 4 the other day.
Yeah. It confuses me, the Boogie thing.
Not that I think that he's good by any means, because he's going to break down constantly. But you would think that he deserves at least a contract in the league that's guaranteed and be on a team for a full season.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't quite
The injuries must
understand
be worse than we see because
I don't quite even in that Warriors finals when he came back against Toronto, while there was such big flaws, there was some all right parts to his game when Klay went down. You know, and it was just maybe it was only for a game or two or whatever, or when KD went down. It was only for a game or two, whatever. But I don't know. I don't understand it either.
yeah, he had a good game with Milwaukee the other day and then got cut.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Dwight keeps getting contracts because Philly like a backup. He's gone to the right places. And the Lakers are stupid. This Lakers
Front office
is a bit silly at the moment. And I got to be honest, it's a lot of LeBron. LeBron's choices. Surely LeBron would be wishing he had Kuzma back over
22 rebounds today.
22
Yeah,
rebounds.
27 and 22 today.
I said it, start of the season, I'd have KCP. I did say I'd have KCP over Westbrook. I'd have KCP, Harrell, and Kuzma over Westbrook, personally. Do with that what you want, Westbrook fans. Next one.
There's not many of them left.
Next one, JL. Jamal Crawford, Sweet Lou Williams, and Sean Livingston.
Oh, Sean Livingston. Oh, because I was thinking about doing one like this as well.
Yeah.
And I was going to do Jamal Crawford, Lou Will, and who was my third one going to be? There was always someone else.
Montrez?
No?
Recent?
Yeah. Not that recent, though.
Which team?
I don't know. In my head, there's always been someone else like Lou Will. That's just a bench scorer that would come in. That just shows where I am today.
Paddy?
Post-COVID brain. Just out of it.
It'll come to you.
Okay, so it was Lou Will, Jamal Crawford, and
Yes.
Sean Livingston.
Has Jamal Crawford even officially retired yet? How hasn't he
I
gone?
think so.
How hasn't he gotten a
Yeah,
call up?
you'd think he
Give
would.
him a call up, mate.
J crossover. He was one of my favourite players.
Oh,
ever.
of course.
I would study his dribble moves and do them in the backyard.
Most surely this is, I'm not wrong in saying this, the most 4-point players ever?
Yep.
Yeah.
3 6 man of the years. Didn't deserve one of them. Taj Gibson got robbed 2017, I reckon. Starting is this, I'm guessing, prime.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be prime there. They're not playing anymore.
Right now.
Jamal Crawford. Lou Williams' prime was better than Sean Livingston's.
Yes.
Sean Livingston was better at the tail end of his career where you could,
That's right.
for the Warriors, he was fantastic. But prime, I'd go to Lou Williams.
Yeah. I would say that Sean Livingston Was
But
the,
his
was
first-
the best
yeah.
defender out of the three of them.
Sean Livingston probably had the best prime almost because of his first few years.
The best defender out of the three of them. That's what I would say, but I've got the same rankings.
Oh, my memory's not as good as I thought it was. I thought he started really well. I thought it was going to be like a I have another mental blank.
Lots of cutting for me.
That's all right.
Lovely.
I love it. Who's the bloke that I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Played for Detroit in like the late 90s. Grant
Hill.
Hill.
Grant Hill.
I don't know how I'm forgetting so many names today.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember Sean Livingston's career like Grant Hill's where injuries ruined it, but no, Sean Livingston wasn't very good prior to that knee injury. So yeah, go crossover, Lou Williams, and then Sean Livingston. But Sean Livingston playing for Golden State, that mid-range turnaround that he had, unstoppable.
Yeah.
I loved Esther.
That 73-9 team, I think it was, with him, Barbosa, Mo Spates. Was there another one?
They got David West the year after.
David West was the year after with Barbosa and Spates. Was there another guy? Elise something, or was that Barbosa's first name?
Leandro Barbosa.
There was a EC something.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Anyway, yeah, they all just had their roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great team, great depth.
Not good for winning a championship though. Yeah, I had the same order: Crawford, Lou Williams, Sean Livingston.
Jamal Crawford was so much fun.
So that was Lou Will. Sweet Lou.
Okay. I've got two more for you.
Lemon pepper Lou.
Do you want a good one or a stupid one? Better do a good one. We've done a lot of stupid ones today.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell,
I was gonna do like this exact one.
Jason Tatum.
Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum. For me, it's Devin Booker. People are going to be pissed off with this one. A lot of people like Donovan Mitchell. For me, it's Devin Booker.
I feel like a lot of people don't care about him. I feel like he's very neutral.
I reckon a lot of people do from what we've seen on the comments. For me, it's Devin Booker. Oh, I'm scared. They've all got flaws. They've all got bloody flaws. I think I have to go Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell. That's my one.
I'm torn on this one too.
This is hard. These are hard.
I think
this little group of players, they're all hard. This Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker group. That Paul George is above.
I think from what we've seen in their careers, I think Tatum's shown that he can be the best, but he's also by far the worst as well.
Yeah.
Like he's got the most fluctuation of
Highest
game.
highs, lowest
Yeah.
lows. Yes.
I think I'd put Mitchell above Booker,
I think many would.
but I'm not really even confident in my own opinion on that.
Yeah.
And that's, we're talking 3 50-point playoff games in his career already. Maybe 2, is it? It was 2. So I think I'd go start Mitchell. Then right now I'm benching Booker, cutting Tatum.
Yeah. Right now, Tatum's on a bit of a bad run.
But if I'm going forward, I'd probably cut Booker and bench Tatum because I think Tatum still has a greater potential to be a top 5 guy in the league, whereas I think Booker's going to be that 10 to 12 range.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah. Booker definitely has, as you're saying, Booker has the most... what is it about him? He's just got the most simple game.
He's so consistent. He gets the job done.
Yeah, but he's very simple out of these three. Tatum's probably the best defender here, of course. Mitchell is probably the most daring and ferocious,
when he's on,
those type of adjectives.
and he's got the most difficult offensive game to stop, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas Booker is just a silky...
He just gets the job done.
Just gets the job done, a great shooter, great scorer. He's a good scorer. Yeah. That's what Devin Booker is. You know, he had to try and learn to facilitate because they didn't really have a point guard for many years, but really he's just a good, smooth scorer. But Tatum can be a good, smooth scorer. Mitchell can be a good, smooth scorer and more. But in saying that, as we've talked about before, my view on Donovan Mitchell is just something about it.
It's playing for Utah. If he was playing for LA or Boston or New York, it'd be MVP candidate.
Yeah, him and the Jazz as a whole, and the Rudy thing.
They don't sell.
It's just something about it. Something about it. Just I won't believe it until I see it type thing. Wow. Next one.
We made it. That's it, isn't it?
No.
That was 4 each.
I've done 3.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
How many have I got to go?
I've done 3. You said you had 2 more, so that's your 3rd.
No, I did 5 though.
Oh, okay. I'll give you the last one because we got to get on to the next episode.
All right. 5th one. You've done 4.
I've done 3.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I do 2 in a row at some point? Oh no, I went first.
I don't know.
No,
yeah.
You went first.
Evan, Seth.
Yeah.
Freedom, Jamal Crawford.
That's all we've done.
That's all I've done. What have you done?
KD, Jokic, Giannis, Booker, Mitchell, Tatum.
We haven't done KD, Jokic, Giannis.
Oh, didn't I do that one?
No.
I know, it's because we spoke about it earlier.
Yeah, you probably skipped it.
Do you want to do that one?
We can if you want.
It's better than my other one.
Okay. We can.
Okay.
Oh, and hold on. It's my turn.
Okay.
We'll do it after mine. In respect to the return of the great Klay Thompson, you know, got to be on the up with the times. Klay Thompson, Joe Harris, and JJ Redick, all at their best.
Klay, JJ, Joe.
Yes, is the correct order. Boom. That's it.
Easy
one. I just wanted to have a nice time talking about Klay. It is Klay. He is the best catch and shoot player ever.
Yep.
And he's a great defender. He's amazing. JJ Redick should not be underrated.
He had a very good career.
Yes.
For someone his size, his athleticism.
Mm-hmm. What a career. As an offensive player, targeted by
a turnstile on defense
by Brad Stevens and Marcus Smart. But anyway, and Joe Harris, I know he's only 30, but unfortunately, yeah, you got to be at the bottom here.
Yeah, he made a nice career for himself though. You remember he was in Cleveland when LeBron was there and he got cut. He's done all right since then.
Yep, I probably shouldn't have put him there, but. The thing about Klay is, you know, and I mentioned this to you off the pod, it's like we go Klay and then like Ray Allen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I just thought we'll make Klay the winner here.
Jesus Shuttlesworth. Have you not seen that?
Not Jesus.
What's the movie called? Ray Allen's in a movie with Denzel Washington.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh. And his name's Jesus Shuttlesworth. Is it a Training Day? That's a movie. That's a famous movie.
It's like Ray Allen's the main character.
Is he?
And it's actually a very good movie.
Oh.
Ray Allen movie. How am I forgetting this? He Got Game. Yeah. So it's about Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And he's got out of prison and Ray Allen's his son.
Okay.
And he's going to college and getting all these scholarships offers and whatnot, and tries to cut ties with his father who was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very good movie.
Okay. I'll check it out.
I recommend it.
Go on.
Okay.
Last
one. Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. We've already spoken about it. It's impossible.
It's not impossible. KD first. Easy for me. Those next two are the hard ones. When you said Kevin Durant, I was going to be like, yep, first. Because of Giannis's 50-point game, I'm going to put it second. When we did our best one team player list, you said it rightly. I I think I put Jokic over Giannis. You said it right when you said you've got to give him the respect because of that game 6. Was it game 5?
Game 6.
Game 6. To put Giannis over Jokic for now until further notice. So that's the order. It's KD, Giannis, Jokic.
I think I'd do the same. I am doing the same. But I can see, crazily...
Don't go anyone before KD.
No, I can see in the next year or two,
KD's
behind the two of them. He's going to...
Yeah.
I mean, age is obviously in his injury history, but...
He'd have to decline.
I
don't think anything they can do can overtake him. I'll say it like that. He'd have to decline.
Yeah, I think, though, they are closing the gap quickly. Just by the current play. Obviously, KD's got the...
but he'd still have to
He's got
decline.
the resume, which is obviously sort of hard to... to overtake that resume, and I don't think they will. But in terms of what the other two are doing this season only, they are playing very, very close to...
They're amazing.
Like, their basketball has been as good as Kevin Durant's. It's just that we know what KD can do.
They're amazing, but when it comes down to it...
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because we know what KD can do.
That's right. He would have to decline for any changes in his rankings in the NBA for me. Which is, for me, right now, he's the best player in the NBA. Okay, JL, that was a long one. We're about to record again. I believe you're going to take that one off.
Rip this off, mate.
I didn't say it at the start of the show, so that's silly of me, but I'll say it right now. If you're new to the show, hit that subscribe button and notifications bell on YouTube, or hit the subscribe or follow button, whatever podcast app you're listening on. We're going to talk in a second, but...
I'll see you next week.
See you next week. But Boston Philly coming up this week, so
good luck.
Yeah, no, we're gonna kill
Marcus Smart's dropping 40.
We're gonna kill this. Look out for Marcus Smart dropping 40 at the Wells Fargo Center this weekend.
When he's sticking you and taking all your money.